And all that.
A lot of people know that the system sucks, but they don't know why it sucks.
Capitalism produces problems that it just cannot solve.
The rich are too poor and the poor are too rich.
You go right over there, sign a petition. We need to get 1 million signatures.
Haven't been arrested lately, I'm happy to say.
I don't think of the Communist Party in terms of 1995, really. You know, it's more of a Red Scare, 1940s, McCarthy.
I wish I voted.
You vote, you didn't vote? The platform immediately is for a federal jobs bill.
Nobody ever joins the Communist Party for bad reasons. Nobody ever stays in for good reasons.
I think it's considered a failure.
If the state only employed the working people, we'd be standing on lines like at the Department of Motor Vehicles.
It's inevitable that the United States will become socialist.
New York is a city that expresses all of the deepest contradictions of capitalism. It's the financial center of U.S. capitalism and a center of world capitalism. So you have that on the one hand. On the other hand, you have a huge population of poor working class people. You have a ferocious confrontation between the centers of wealth, the ruling class, the wealthy elite, and the masses of the working people.
In New York, there's a terrible inequity. I think nowhere else in the world is it so apparent that one can cross one street and find a different sense of wealth. What they're doing is the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer in this state.
The answer is very simple. We must change the social structure of our country and all the others, where the rich are not the bosses, where the rich do not control the legislature, where the working class has its say.
Living here uptown on Park Avenue, I'm certainly not worried about the underclass coming in and taking over. They're just not strong enough. They're not strong enough as a group. I mean, it's too bad that they really can't get together and try to push themselves upward. It's not possible. They're just too weak and they're not bright enough.
I saw a lot of hatred on the Lower East Side where I grew up. And there was anti-Semitism. The Jewish people were saying anti-Christian things in response. And African Americans were moving into the community and were being attacked and bothered. So I did ask my sister, and she said, if you want to find out more about it, I'll take you someplace where they'll answer your questions. That was my introduction to the Young Communist League of the United States.
No matter what you hear, no matter what distracting ideas are thrown across your mind by the media, it isn't true, it just ain't true. It ain't necessarily so. What is true is that ideas cannot fade and cannot die. They can't destroy any of your hopes. Your hopes are for a better world.
Keep on walking forward.
You know, ideology is a very important thing, and I believe that it was necessary to fight to change things. Every time I saw, you know, an unemployed family, a homeless person, a hungry person, and even my own experience of being victim of discrimination as an African American, it made me want to fight, and it made me want to change things.
Keep on walking forward.
I didn't think that I was going to be a communist or become a leader of the Communist Party, any such thing.
Never turning back.
I was very happy to get the good job and get educated, get the good job, get the Chevy and the house in the suburbs. That's all I wanted. If you're interested in being a part of us, you can sign up and be a member. The party platform immediately is for a New Deal.
We played a crucial role in the struggle for all the social gains of the past 50 years. Social Security, unemployment compensation. We led those battles. We led the movement of the unemployed people during the 1930s, during the Great Depression. We led the struggle against lynching in the South.
Since the setbacks in the Soviet Union, I think we suffered a little bit. Now we're really making an effort to try to rebuild that tradition. Hopefully within the next few years, we will once again have 100,000 people marching down Broadway and rallying.
May Day started here in the United States as a result of a fight for the 8-hour day in the 1880s.
It was a holiday which was born here in the United States and has now become a worldwide working class holiday. And this Union Square Park really has a tremendous amount of significance because this is really the site of perhaps well, just about every May Day demonstration going back maybe 50 or 60 years.
I've been a member of the party since I've been 19. We had 100,000 people marching years gone by, and it's 6 o'clock now, and we would march up until 8 o'clock, and we'd start at 9 o'clock in the morning. It was really, truly a workers' holiday.
There was strong representation from unions like the furriers, the painters. When the McCarthy period came, I can remember one parade of just about 49 or 50 when they marched by my union hall, we had to fight our way by.
I can't conceive of a life without the party. And people have often made a comment about my being a red diaper baby. I'm not a red diaper baby. I have red genes. How can I miss? My parents were both socialists. I was born from socialist parents. It really is, it's painful, to say the least, to see where at one time we were 150,000, 200,000 strong, where you've seen the crowd today, which is very limited.
You can tell by the turnout, I don't think the Communist Party has a lot of draw in the United States right now.
Communist Party? Communist rally? Where? At one time, the Communist Party was pretty big. But today, not like yesterday. To me, the Communist Party is something of the past.
I probably would not go over and check out the Communist rally. I don't know. My time, I think, could be better spent doing something else.
We have about 20,000 members nationally right now.
We've experienced in the last year growth of over 600 new members.
1,500 to 2,000 new members have come in.
I would have to ask where those figures are coming from, I guess, more than anything else.
The Communist Party remains a very, very tiny handful of people, many of them old. They'll trot out the few young ones for you to photograph, but most of them are in their 70s and 80s. And what keeps them in the Communist Party is nostalgia. That they've spent their whole lives fighting for something that they thought was right. It collapsed around them.
We're in the Unity Center, which houses the Central Committee of the Communist Party, the national office. Up here you see the names Eugene V. Debs, Nelson Mandela, W.B. Du Bois, Paul Robeson, and Ethel and Julius Rosenberg, and a whole number of other people, heroes in the movement, people who had outstanding records. And so this building is really a product of very working people putting their money together and making it possible for us to purchase this place and use it.
I grew up on a farm in a very small town in the state of Washington, very isolated, and to be known as communists in such a town in the middle of the Cold War was not an easy thing. And I remember sitting around the dining room table as a child writing postcards to President Eisenhower calling for amnesty for the Rosenbergs, for example. I had very strong feeling that we were in the right. I never questioned, never doubted that my parents stood for something that was true and honorable. The collapse of the Soviet Union, that the center of this worldwide revolutionary process would just collapse, was unimaginable.
The communist slogan that communism will solve the problems of mankind can't even be argued anymore, because the Soviet Union made it clear in its collapse that they not only didn't solve the problems of ordinary people, but they created a class society where the bureaucrats were the ruling class and ordinary human beings had terrible lives as a result of decisions made by the bureaucrats. So socialism doesn't work.
Those who say that there were a lot of problems and that world communism is dead, or the communist movement is dead because of the fall of the Soviet Union. Now, while there were a lot of mistakes that were made in the Soviet Union and Eastern Europe, there were a lot of advances that were made.
There were some people who did lose confidence and decided that it was all had been a big mistake. And I think that that's the reason I have such respect for the leadership of the party, that they led us through that period, and unlike quite a number of other parties in the world, refused to give up.
It was a devastating blow, but we're good fighters, and you know, most of us took the blow, spun around and say, hey, has the world changed that much? Has poverty gone away? Has unemployment gone away? Has racism gone away? Has the threat of war gone away? No.
When I met people who had dropped out, they said, why are you still with it? I said, because the struggle has not been won.
And I coordinate different community clubs of youth around New York City and the state. This summer you're going to want a job? Sign the petition. We need to get 1 million signatures. There's 2 bills in Congress right now. You got to do something now, or there ain't going to be no tomorrow.
Which side are you on, boys? Which side are you on?
And now the main thing that we're fighting for is for a national jobs campaign, especially for youth. So we go and do a lot of tabling and a lot of petitioning for 2 jobs bills that are in Congress right now. We've been involved in sleep-ins. I've been on a hunger strike and was arrested on the hunger strike. And we're out there trying to fight. There's all different types of people who join the Young Communist League. People who are looking for a change, looking for a future. We're black, brown, white, Asian. Revolution is evolution. It's changing the system for something better.
The party strategy is not a one-phase strategy. That is, we get out in the street and yell, revolution, 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 and people come behind us, hey, we take over.
I myself, I don't support armed revolution, and neither does my party, or the YCL or the Communist Party. But if people are put into a certain situation where they have to fight for food and for jobs.
No great change is absolutely peaceful. I went to the civil rights movement. I saw people beaten to bloody pulps on the street. But what I mean is we don't have to have a civil war to have socialism in the United States.
It's a whole different world, and the American Communist Party's future is behind it.
Well, it would be nice to have a revolution if the poor people would get their way, but it doesn't look that good right now.
The international working class shall be the human race.
Okay, if socialism does not come to pass, I don't at all believe that my life will have been fruitless or a waste.
It's been a meaningful life, and I couldn't think of any better way to spend my life.
Communist Party will make you live longer, live a full life, with all kinds of wonderful things happening to you, and that it will make your life a better life, and that you will live longer and enjoy our party.